says, one who sees a place where miracles were done for the Jewish people, like where the Jewish people crossed the Red Sea, like where the Jewish people crossed the Jordan River, things like that, miracles that happened to the Jewish people in public. So he has to say a blessing. He says, Baruch Sha'asa Nisim La'avoteinu Makom Hazeh. Bless you, Hashem. You have to say, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. Tosha said, we brought down and learned last week, that God made miracles to our forefathers in that place. And the Gemara asks, Mena Nimile. This is the first line in the Gemara. Mena Nimile. How do we know those words? How do we know that we bless on a miracle? I understand when there is a miracle, you praise Hashem. But to say a blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem, which is an obligation, to say a blessing, how do we know that there is an obligation to say a blessing? Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan brings a verse from Chumash Shmot, from Yisro. What Jethro said, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. The Omar says in the verse, Vayomer Yitro Baruch Hashem Asher Hitzilenu. When Yitro came and he met Moshe Rabbeinu, so he came from Saudi Arabia, from Midian, in the lower peninsula of the other side of the Red Sea, and he passed and went up to the Jewish people. So he passed the area where the Jewish people crossed the Red Sea. And what did he do? He said, Baruch Hashem, bless you Hashem, that rescued the Jewish people. So since Yisrael blessed Hashem, from there we learn there's an obligation to bless Hashem. When you pass by a place where there was a miracle for the Jewish people. A few months ago, I was walking around with my brothers, and we made a tour where 40 years ago my family used to live in Yerushalayim when they came from America, to Israel. And suddenly my brother stopped. He says, oh, here, when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, I had a miracle. A motorcycle hit me and I flew about 20 meters, and they had to cut his finger, and he had a miracle, he stayed alive. So he says that passing through a place where I had the miracle is an obligation to bless. But that's a private miracle. Here, the Mishnah speaks about a public miracle.
Is it the same bracha?
We'll see. Menoah Nimile, how do we know? The Mishnah speaks about a public miracle. Omar Rabbi Yochanan says, the verse says, Vayomer Yisro Baruch Hashem Asher Hitzil. Yisro said, bless you Hashem, that he rescued the Jewish people. Aniso de Rabbi Mevarchina. The Gemara makes an inference. A miracle of public miracle make a blessing. But Anisa de Yochino Mevarchino. On a private miracle, we don't make a blessing. Because if the Mishnah gives an example of miracles that were done for our forefathers, you would say as bedafka, it's specifically only public miracle of the Jewish people. But a private miracle, you don't make a blessing. That's the inference of the Mishnah. The Gemara says, how could it be so? Behold, Ahu Gavra, with this man, Da'ave Ko'ozil Be'ovar Yemina. He was walking, passing a place called Ovar Yemina. Look in Rashi, what is Ovar Yemina? Shem Medina, it's a name of a country. Bidromo Shel Prat, in the southern part of the Euphrates River. The Euphrates, you heard about the Euphrates River? It's the biggest, I think, second biggest river in the world. And it goes all the way from Turkey and goes all the way to Iran, Iraq, all the way to the Persian Gulf. It's one of the biggest rivers in the world, which is mentioned in the Torah. One of the 4 rivers that come out of Gan Eden. So this river, in the southern part of it, there was an area called Yemina, the Ovar Yemina. So this guy was passing the Ovar Yemina. Nofal alei Aryeh, fell on him a lion. A lion came on him and fell on him. Is'abidli nise, a miracle happened to him. Ve'itzal minei, and he was rescued from it. A big miracle. Imagine a lion falls on you and you get rescued, you stay alive. Also, lekamei derova. What?
That's quite a thing.
You probably know that from South Africa, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of lions. And imagine a lion falls on you, it doesn't eat you, it keeps you alive, it goes and walks away. Also, lekamei derova, he came in front of Rabbi. The Omar, he told him, Rava told this guy, Kol eimas de matis lozam, all the time when you come to that place, all the time when you're passing by that place where this miracle happened to you in Ovar Yaminos, the name of a place in the southern part of the Euphrates River, Brich, you should bless. Baruch she'asali, bless you Hashem that He made me, Nes Vokam as a miracle in this place. So we see from the rulings of Rava, that the Rabbi definitely did not learn the Mishnah that it's only a public miracle but not a private miracle. He told this guy a ruling that even a private miracle, every time when he passes by that area, he should bless Baruch Shasa Li Nes V'Mokam Hazeh. Bless you Hashem that in me a miracle in this place. Another story. Umar Brei de Ravina, Master the son of Ravina. Master, the son of Ravina, he is the author of the Gemara. The author of the Gemara is Mar Brei de Ravina and Mar Brei de Ravashi. Those two rabbis, they are the ones that composed the Gemara. They gathered together all the Amoraim's names and what they said, and they put the Babylonian Talmud. They are the ones that wrote the Babylonian. So now the Gemara tells a story. What?
The redactors.
Doctors?
Redactors.
Yes, redactors. They put everything together. And Mar Bar Ravina says as follows. It was a story. Umar Bar Ravina avekoozil bepatka, the Arvois. He was going in a valley. Patka is a valley. Rashi says Bika. Ba'aravot is a name of a place. Normally we say Hashem Tzvakot, Yoshev Aravot. Aravot in Hebrew means when you have a desert and you have a very long, big desert which is flat, giant desert which is flat, we call Aravot. Aravot means empty land with nothing there in a desert. It's called Aravot. Aravot Moav, Aravot Amidbar. It's a concept. But anyhow, he came to a valley of Aravot. Vetzocho lemayo, and he was thirsty for water. No water. All empty area, big desert. All empty. 10s or 20 or 50, who knows what, kilometers all around with desert. Vetzocho lemayo, and he was thirsty for water. What happened? Is'abidlei nisa. A miracle was done for him. Ivrelei eina demaya. Hashem created for him an eye of water, means a spring of water. Ve'ishti, and he drank. Vetu, and more. Zimnachad, at one time, Avakoz, and he was walking berasteka de mechoiza. He was walking in a market. Rasteka is souk, shuk. You know souk? Shuk. Shuk in Arabic means a market. In Hebrew also means a market too. So kimata leristeka de mechoiza. He came to a market of Mechoza. Mechoza is the name of a city. Venofal alei gamlo pritza. A camel fell on him, but a crazy camel. Gamlo pritza, Rashi says gamal meshuga. A camel which is crazy. Sha'asakav ra'im, his business is bad, means he goes wild, I can't control him. A wild camel. Fell on him. I don't know if you ever saw a camel. Who saw a camel?
I've ridden a camel.
It's very big. You ever saw a camel? Especially the Arabian camel. You know how tall they are, how big they are? They're giant. They can fall on a person and crush them. Giant. Ispankale Ashisa, a wall of a house fell down. Ala Gavoy entered inside the house to be protected from the camel. Which means the camel falling on him wants to jump on him and rip into pieces. And suddenly a wall of a house fell down and he was able to jump inside and be rescued out of nowhere. Ispankale broke down, Ashon Itparek, broke down Ashisa, a wall of a house. Ale Gavoy, and he went inside.
She says a what? Is a wall?
Ashisa is a wall, yes.
Sparkle is.
Ispankale Itparek. He broke down to pieces. The wall of a house which was near him fell inside, and he was able to enter the house and be protected from the camel, this crazy camel. Kimata la'arvot, when he came back again and he visited the desert, which called Aravot, which we had the miracle with a spring of water. Borich, he made a blessing. Baruch she'asali nes ba'aravot. Bless you, Hashem, that made me miracle in this Aravot. Ubegamal, when he came and by a camel. No, he said both. Aravot and Gamal. He blessed Hashem that he made a miracle in Aravot and Gamal too. Kimata leriska de Mechoza, when he came to the market of Mechoza. Borich, he blessed. Baruch she'asali nes begamal u'baravot. Bless you, Hashem, that made me a miracle in a camel in this area. And baravot, which means he always blessed Hashem on both miracles. When he got to the place of one miracle, he blessed on both. When he got to the other, he blessed on both. So he had two miracles in his lifetime, apparently. One is the spring in the desert, spring of water. Number two, this in the market, this crazy camel jumped on him and the wall fell down and was able to jump into a house. So when he came to the market, he blessed on the wall and also on the spring. When he came to the place of the spring, he blessed on the spring and also on the wall of the camel. So what do we see? Two great rabbis, Rava and Ma Baravashi, which is the author of the Gemara. Both rabbis blessed even on private miracles. And simply when you read the Mishnah, you understand, you can infer that only a public miracle you make a blessing, not a private miracle. Amre, they gave an answer. Amre, they said an answer. Anisa de Rabin, if it's a miracle of the public, everyone is obligated to bless because it's a miracle of the public. The Jewish people were rescued in the Red Sea. The Jewish people were rescued at a miracle of crossing the Jordan River, etc. All those are public miracles. So when you have public miracles, the entire Jewish people are obligated to make a blessing. Anisa de Yochid, but it's a miracle of a single person. He who chayv levruche, only he himself is obligated to make a blessing. Nobody else. You see on the side, we have a goy sagro. Very important, a goy sagro. You see here, Aleph, Anisa de Yochid Hiu. On a private miracle, he needs to bless. On the left side, you have the Gaon Mivilna. Nichta betzido, he says, Nun beit. It was written on the side of the Gemara, the Gaon Mivilna wrote, Ubrei, and his son needs to make a blessing. Ubar berei, and the son of his son. Girsas ha-Geonim v'Arif. That's what the Geonim and the Arif says. So, on the public miracle, everybody needs to bless. On a private miracle, the person himself needs to bless, but his son and his grandson's son need to bless. What's the logic of it? Because if it wasn't for the miracle of the father, they wouldn't be existing. So since they come from him, they need to make a blessing for the generations. There are, I don't know if you guys ever heard about Purim de Saragossa. Purim de Saragossa was a city named Saragossa in Spain. and they have a Purim, they had a miracle of Purim. And all the grandchildren's children, descendants that come from the city of Saragossa, they have a Purim in Saragossa. There's other days, the different communities in Iraq, in Morocco, in Europe, different communities that had private miracles in that city, and they accepted upon themselves that all the children, grandchildren, forever and ever, that when they pass that day or pass that area, and they had a miracle, that they will bless and make a blessing. And that's what the Goldstein says, according to the Geonim and the Rif. So when you have a public miracle, which is all the Jewish people had a miracle, so we all descendants of that. So really there's no difference between public and private. Just public, everybody a part of the public, we need to make a blessing. Private, everyone who's part of the private, those that come from the private. The other people which are not part of it, the children, grandchildren are part of it. Other people which are not a part of it, they're not obligated. What about converts? Converts,
I don't think so.
can they say, bless you Hashem, that he miracles to our forefathers? So let's say if somebody, his father is Jewish and his mother's not, he converted. But still his forefathers are miracles. So you can say, Baruch Shasani Sim Lavotenu. It says forefather. Although halachically there's no connection, but there's a blood connection. So you can say, bless you Hashem, and the miracles they did for my forefathers. Because if my forefathers didn't have this miracle, it wouldn't exist. So basically he's blessing Hashem for the miracles of his forefathers. However, if somebody's a complete convert, his father and his mother is not Jewish, can he make, or should he make, or he's obligated to say, Baruch Sha'asa Nisim La'avoteinu B'mokem Hazeh? You need to say or not.
The Rambam, I think, would say that he would be.
Why?
He wrote a letter to a convert who asked him the question.
What?
He wrote a letter to a convert who asked
Right,
him the question.
Ovadia the Gerem, what he told him?
He said, yeah, you say everything just as if you were...
Because you became part of the Jewish people. And since you were happy for the Jewish people's miracles, and you're part of the Jewish nation, you have to say it. You're not out of the Jewish people. So that's only public miracle. Private miracle, what if you, like any other Jew, if it's not your grandparents, it's not your, you're not a descendants of that, you don't make a blessing. But if you are,
Married into that family.
but if it's a miracle of the Jewish people, of everyone, since you're part of the Jewish people, you should make a blessing. So this is the idea, you know what you want to say.
What if you married into that family and then you become like sort of the son-in-law or the grandson-in-law?
So if he's part of the family, not blood related, only through marriage is different. But his children, which are blood related, he should make a blessing, yes.
What if a miracle happened before he converted and then after? Is he still make the bracha?
Same thing as a Jew. Let's say a Jew had a miracle and he has children that already existed. So if he would die, they will still exist. So it doesn't belong to them. But I think they should anyhow, because as part of their father, they're part of the father. They're part of him. They will have a big loss without a father. So the same idea, but they feel a big loss without him. So you should make a blessing. But that's the idea. The idea is, when you come to the place where the miracle is being done, you have to make a blessing, you and your children, grandchildren all the time. I had a grandfather, yes. I had a grandfather that in his later days, he couldn't go to a bathroom. He was like constipated, he couldn't go to the bathroom. And sometimes he had to wait a few hours till he was able to go to the bathroom. And when we went to the bathroom, he said such a asher yotza with tears, mamish with tears. And he was thanking Hashem that came out of him, the waste. You know, we just go to the bathroom, he just natural whoop comes in and out. Everything is a big miracle. So because of that, he adopted the blessing that we say in Asher Yatzah, that a person cannot stay. The Ashkenazim don't say it, but Sfarad and Sfaradim say, afilu sha'achat, even 1 hour. Because he felt that he couldn't exist in 1 hour without going to the bathroom. And he asked my father and his grandchildren always to say that blessing. He felt he had a personal miracle for himself. And my father told us that we have to say this. All my family say afilu sha'achat. even 1 hour. Can't go to the bathroom 1 hour. Because he felt a real miracle. Sometimes he had 2-3 days, he could go to the bathroom, he had pain, he was rolling on the floor. Pain, tremendous pain. To run out, to have a bowel movement, or go into the bathroom, it's a big miracle. Big miracle. Big miracle. If a person cannot go to the bathroom, wow, he will appreciate going to the bathroom. We can't even think about those things. But if you go to geriatric departments in hospitals, you'll see how big is a miracle that our body functions and eat and drinks and comes out whatever comes in. What do you want to say?
I know the father of a ger, one of the ger that he converts.
Yes.
Would he say a bracha like somebody wanted to kill him and then he got saved or whatever? The father.
I think so, yes.
He did say that.
Yes, I say, even if a convert and his father's a goy,
Yeah.
and his father's a goy and a miracle, the son has to continue. Yes.
Oh.
Sure.
Before
Because physically,
the son was born.
yes. No, if let's say his father didn't stay alive, the child would not be existing.
Yeah, it happened before he was born.
Yeah, before he has to thank Hashem. Doesn't matter, you're Jew or goy. Also, goy need to bless Hashem. They're not exempt of that. You bless Hashem all the time.
Does a guy have to make a bracha before he eats food?
Many years ago, I wrote a Shulchan Aruch for Goyim. 7 Noach laws of all the laws that are going on. I wrote a Shulchan Aruch.
Is it still in print?
No, I just wrote it in handwriting. I never printed it. I worked with it with Rabbi Liao Silva in Yeshiva, and we wrote all Shulchan Aruch for Goyim that don't want to convert. They want to keep all the Noach laws. And we know, thank you very much.
Amazing.
We know that a Ben Noach is not obligated only to do the 7 Noach laws. The Ben Noach is also obligated to keep all the mitzvot should make sense. Rabbi Nissen Gaon says, Kol mitzvah detalya b'uvnet adeliba. Every mitzvah which depends on understanding of the heart, even the goy is obligated. And not only is obligated, God will demand him and he will get punished. What's the proof? For example, Sodom and Amorah. Hashem destroyed Sodom not doing charity. Charity is not part of the 7 Noach laws. They were stealing the Shabbat, that's the problem. So you see, and he brings other ayahs, that any mitzvah which follows understanding of the heart, even a goy is obligated. 7 Noach laws is mitzvahs, even if it doesn't make sense to him, he needs to keep. And if he doesn't keep, he deserves death. So, since every mitzvah which makes sense, a goy is obligated, to bless before you eat, it makes sense. To bless Hashem, Hashem gave you good water. Wow, made a blessing. Thank you, Hashem. Right? I want to thank Hashem. So, all those mitzvot, a goy is obligated to. For example, I went to ask my Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Moshe Hillel Hirsch, and I asked him, tell me an example where a Jew is obligated and a goy not. So he told me, for example, Avak Lashon Hara. You know what's Avak Lashon Hara? Anyone knows what is Avak Lashon Hara? Do you know what is it? What does that mean, for example?
Like, Nachum Yossi is a local expert. He knows the best.
What is Avak?
You should see.
It's like it's like saying like let's say you have a fire burning in your house. So you say there's always fire burning in the house, right? So it could be two things. It could be either he's
No, somebody's asking, I want fire.
right.
So you go to this guy, he always has a lot of fire in the house. Means a lot of food, a lot of cook.
Yeah.
He's a wealthy guy. And because of that, people are going to come to ask him for money or food,
Right.
whatever it is. That's called Avak Lashon Hara. It's a dust of Lashon Hara. It's not a derogatory, it's not Lashon Hara, it's a dust of it. He says that's the case, a Jew is obligated going out. It's a Jew which needs to follow Hashem's way to the primary top level. God wants us to be real perfect people. So we're obligated not to speak even Avak Lashon Hara. But Lashon Hara is simple, not to have a derogatory. Even Goyim are obligated not to speak derogatory. Because Lashon Hara makes sense. You don't speak bad about people. So Goy that speaks Lashon Hara is obligated. Ravak Lashon Hara not. So basically, on those terms, I went and I wrote a whole Shulchan Aruch. I opened Shulchan Aruch Orach from Siman Aleph. I went through all the Simanim. See what makes sense, what not make sense. And I went through law by law. They need to wash their hands when they get up in the morning. They don't need. They need to say Modani, thank Hashem. Hashem gave them the soul. Yes, makes sense. They need to pray. What did they pray? Which obligation? And law by law, before they eat, they have to make after. Every law by law which makes sense, and you need to follow. And I came up with a whole notebook, handwriting, of all the laws that the Benoach needs to keep from common sense. I never printed it. Time passed by. But that's what happened then.
I think it'd be a big
So anyhow, what?
I think it'd be a big seller if you printed.
They have one, huge one.
Yeah, they have already?
Yeah, one of the guys showed me a few weeks ago. Tremendous.
Okay, so already they have.
Official mishpat, everything.
That book? No, that's too complicated. No. That's Lomdus, like Yeshiva. What hell
Yeah.
That's I can't even a Jew can barely read it. So Yeshiva boy can barely read it. You know, you have to sweat out and learn a few years to figure that book. It's for rabbis. So about now, a simple book like Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch for going. What do they do? Tell me what to do every day. We Jews, we have an easy life. We have direction. Get up in the morning, you say Modani, wash your hands. What a dam, you put on tefillin, you put on tzitzis. You say Psukkah Nezimah, you say Kriyas Shema, you say Shmoneh Esrei, and you say after blessing, right? You eat, you make before and after. You do business, you don't cheat. All those laws, even Goyim are obligated not to teach in monetary laws. All the laws are weighing, not to cheat in weighing, not cheating in business and contracts and all those laws. By Torah, they're obligated to follow that. So, anyhow, there's a lot of laws that need to be taught for the Goyim, and it is an obligation of rabbis to do that, because Goyim says, Rabbi, give me the direction. I love Hashem. It's not like years ago, Goyim beat up the Jews. Nobody wanted to come near the Jews. There's a lot of Goyim now today want to love the Jews. But say, listen, Rabbi, I would love to be Jewish. It's too hard for me. Too hard. So I want to be what I need to be as a Goyim. Okay, here's a book. You follow it. Believe in one God. Yes, I believe in one God. I don't believe in Jay and Jason, Yoshua, all that crap. I don't believe. Okay. But what to do, how to act as a Benoach. It's very important. I started to write. Maybe I should rewrite it again. Start again. Stopped. Yeah. So, reference to what you said a bit, Uriel. Yes. Even a goy that has a miracle, he has the same law. He needs to make a blessing. Him and his children, because the same idea. He has to have recognition of the good to God. That's common sense. All those laws are common sense. Common sense to bless Hashem. For us, it's an obligation. Also, going. This is one of the examples. I think it's common sense that a goy even needs to bless. Okay, let's continue on. Tano Rabbanan, the Rabbi taught us. What do you want to ask? Tano Rabbanan, the Rabbi taught us. Where's Yosef Shalom? No, okay. Don't go there. Maybe you can call him.
No, we want to call you.
Telephone, okay. Tanu Rabbanan, the Rabbi taught us. Aroe Ma'abarot Ayam, one who sees the place where the Jewish people passed in the Red Sea. Uma'abarot Ayarden, he sees where the Jewish people passed through the Jordan River. Ma'abarot Nachale Arnon, he sees the crossing of Nachal Arnon. You know Arnon? The story where the Jewish people crossed the Nachal Arnon. There were two mountains. One mountain had stones sticking out. The other one had caves. And the Amorites, they were hitting and the two mountains came and they crushed them and they died. And the Jewish people didn't even know which miracle happened. But when they came, they saw all the rivers full of arms and legs and blood. They were singing a song to Hashem, the miracles Hashem saved them. If you go today to Jordan, you can see, for example, in Petra, if you guys ever went, or anyone went to visit Arnon, Nachal Arnon, this river still exists. The valleys still exist. A very narrow valley with waters. A big river in a mountain, one of the most beautiful rivers in the entire Middle East. They have a very narrow canyons, very tall canyons, and you have a big river that passes through. It's one of the most beautiful things to go. Anyhow, so if somebody passes those places when he crosses the Nachal Arnon, or Avnei El Gavish, stones of El Gavish. You know what's El Gavish? Who knows what's El Gavish? You have English, how they translate Gavish. I want to know if they translate it properly. El Gavish normally means, crystal rocks. Rocks that quartz. Quartz? You see those? What?
Quartz.
Quartz is called?
Quartz.
In English they translate quartz?
I don't know. I'm still on the canyons and
Okay, anyhow. If somebody passes by and he sees those quartz stones, Bemorad Bet Choron, and going down of Bet Choron, in the days of Joshua had a war, and he prayed to Hashem, and Hashem put down a rain of stones and got rid of the Palestinians. So in the Morad, in the slopes of Bet Horon. So if somebody sees those rocks were laying everywhere. Somebody passes by and he sees those quartz volcano rocks laying all over on the going down of Bet Horon. He sees, wow, those rocks came from the time of Joshua. And Hashem put down a very strong rain of stones that killed the enemies. ואבן שביקש לזרוק עול מלך הבשן לישראל. The stone that Og Melech HaBashan picked up to throw on the Jewish people. Og Melech HaBashan picked up a giant rock to throw on the Jewish people. The rock was 1,500 meters long, 3,000 amot. And he picked it up above his head. And Hashem made a miracle. He put it on his head and it became a hole inside and went in through his head, and his teeth grew and entered the stone. He couldn't take it out. That's why he died. He fell and he died. Moshe Rabbeinu came, jumped. Moshe Rabbeinu was tall 5 meters, 10 amot. He had a sword, and he jumped and he got to his kansul. How do you say kansul? Ankle. And he stabbed him by a big sword, and he fell down. And that's how he fell down. He cut his head and he killed him. So, if somebody sees this rock that Og Melech HaBashan wanted to throw on the Jewish people. So imagine you see that rock. In those days, they knew which rock is it. So they passed by to see that rock and says, wow, we can make a blessing. You see the miracle. Ve'even sheyashav alea Moshe. And the stone that Moshe sat down, בשעה שעשה יהושע מלחמה בעמלק. In the time when Joshua made a war against Amalek, Moshe Rabbeinu sat on the stone and he picked up his hands. And when the Jewish people looked on his hand, looked in Shamayim, did Tshuva, they were winning. When not, he put down, or they didn't look in Shamayim, they were losing the war. Right? So when you see that stone that Moshe Rabbeinu sat, you make a blessing. V'ishto shel Lot, the wife of Lot, she looked back and she became a column of salt. I remember when I was a child, we went to a trip, my sister went to a trip to Sodom, and they still had, up to about 40, 50 years ago, there was a column of salt, which people say, oh, this is the column of salt where the wife of Lot became salt, really. You ever saw it?
No, I heard it.
No, it doesn't exist anymore, but it was. Used to.
Present day would that be? Where would that be? Present day.
It's in the southern part of the Dead Sea.
So the Gemara seems to be talking about hailstones, the Al Gavish.
Al Gavish, yes.
It's talking about hailstones.
Hailstone means stones that fell from heaven, like hail.
Yeah.
But in Hebrew, al-gavish,
Says for the sake of a man.
al-gavish means above, gavish means it gets connected, megubash. So it's, in Hebrew, if I want to say a quartz stone, a quartz stone, you call it el-gavish. Doesn't matter. But here means hailstones that came from hail and Shammai and killed the enemies. But here, what's important is they knew in the time of the Gemara where is the column of the wife of Lot that she turned back and she turned to salt. And if somebody passes by that area, he's obligated to make a blessing. Now, this next one I saw myself. Vechomat Yericho, the wall of Jericho, shenivla'a ba'adama b'mkoma. That was, thank you, that was swallowed in its place. This I saw today, you can't see it, because today Jericho is in the hands of the Palestinians. When I was a child, I went a few times to see Jericho, and you still can see that the entire wall is sunk into the ground. You still can see.
How close
What?
do you have to be? How close do you have to be to see that bracha? I saw it once far away. If the imam is there,
I think you have to see it, otherwise you
you can see
can't
it
make a
but from
blessing.
far away.
You are, I don't know when you were there, cannot be.
Yeah, like a year ago.
How? They wouldn't allow you to go
no,
in.
it's a place near it. It's not there. It's a Jewish area. You can look down and see, but it's far away.
No, far away you can't.
You can't be with
Can't.
the mamish there.
To be there.
What
Physical.
bracha would you say on the salt pillar?
We'll see. It says, Al kulam, on all of them, tzarich sheiten hoda'ah, you need to give a thanks, v'shrach and a praise, lifnei hamakom, in front of Hashem. So, this is one of the most amazing things to see. You go to Jericho, and you see that the entire wall sunk under the ground. Mamish is reality. You walk, and you see they dug around those walls. You can see entire walls sunk into the ground. Do you know the story? That when the Jewish people came to Jericho, Yeshua told the Jewish people to surround the city 7 times. And the 7th time, the wall fell down. Not to the side, it fell down and it sunk into the ground. And that miracle still exists till today. Is one of the things you can see till today. I told you that till today, there is in Saudi Arabia, in the Red Sea, across, there's a big column written in Hebrew ancient letters. In the time of the second temple, first temple, the type of letters, it's written on it, this is the place where the Jewish people crossed the Dead Sea. The Red Sea.
They also have pictures of the calf.
What?
They also have, they do pictures of the calf on it also.
Yes, those are.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, you can't ban it. It's true. When guys are drunk, they come on now and have another thing to become even more angry. You know? And don't forget they're 18 years old. 18 years old.
Is that a different yeshiva?
Yeah,
Different groups, not different issue. It's a different group. They're 18 years old, so sometimes they smoke something before. Who knows what? But somewhere else. I don't know. You can't talk to them. Not, you could talk to them, but I think it's almost a waste of time. No, I'm just joking, Hashem. No, they're really good guys. They're actually sober. There is a yeshiva in Komatityahu. It's in this small little town next to Yerushalayim, about half an hour away. And they asked me to bring a group here of 20 guys, but the sober guys. Guys that really are sober. They're not, they clean. I told them, I don't know if my guys are clean, so they're coming to a clean area. But I don't want to tell you one thing, that if you're not clean here, you're going to be checked every second with mugged by the police. So it's not worth it not to be clean. And that's the advantage. So those guys, I had guys that left the yeshiva, and they went to Tzfat. So I can't be around Mount Zion every second minute. I've been checked. This, that. So I want to be free. I told him, you're stupid. You don't hid your stuff in your room. You hid your stuff in the no one knows one in the trees. I'm joking. I'm not joking. I'm spinning something here, but it's okay. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Now the Gemara asks the question. This is the Berachot. The Berachot gives us a long list of things which we had miracles and we make blessings on it. But if we look carefully on the list of the miracles, they're not equal. No. Let's see. Bishleima ma'abarot hayam. It makes sense, the miracle of crossing the Red Sea. The Chsiv, as it says in Joshua, Vayavo bnei Yisrael b'toch hayam b'yabasha. The entire Jewish people, children of Israel, went inside the sea in a dry area. Ma'abarot hayarden, crossing the Jordan River. The Chsiv says, Vayamdu HaKohanim, the priesthood, Nosei Aaron Brit Hashem, the priests that were carrying the Ark of Covenant of Hashem, B'charava b'toch hayarden, Achein. They were standing in the dry area inside the Jordan River. V'kol Yisrael ovrim b'charava, and the entire children of Israel passing through in the dry land in the river. Ad asher tamu kol hagoy, until the entire nation finished la'avot, to pass by et hayarden, the Jordan. Ela ma'abarot nachal hayarden min ha'alam, but the crossing of the river of Arnon, how do we know there was miracles there? The Chsiv, as it says, Al ken yomar b'sem Berachot Hashem. Therefore, we should say in the book of the wars of God, Et va'eh b'sufa. Tana, we learn, what does it mean? Et va'eh b'sufa. Et va'eh b'sufa. Shnei mitzuaim hayu. Et va'eh, there were names of two leprosy guys. One name was Et. His name was Sufa. Vahev. Again, two people which had leprosy. One, his name was Et, and the second one, his name Vahev. They went besufa. What is besufa? Sof. They walk in the end of the camp of Israel. Ki avu karchal fi Yisrael. When the Jewish people were passing by, Atu Amorai, came the Amorais, Avdi Lehon Nikirusa. They made, Nikiruta means the Menaker, they carved caves in the walls of the canyon. Vetashu, when they hid in those caves. Amr, they said to themselves, Ki chalfi Yisrael, when the Jewish people passed by, Oche here, Nekatlinun, we're going to kill them. I will throw stones on them, and it's a canyon, they will die. Velo avu yadei, and the Amorites, they know the Oroin, that the Ark of Covenant, Avemazge Kamai Nisor used to go in front of the Jewish people. The Ave Mamich Lehutu, and used to put down, lower down mountains. Kamai in front of them. Came on the Aaron, since the ark came to that area, Idbiku, they were glued. Ture, the mountains, Ve'adado, the one to the other. Ve'katlinun, and they died. Ve'nochas Damayu, and the blood went down. Lenachale Arnon, to the river of Arnon. Ki asu, when came Et Vahev, when those two leprosy guys came, because they were walking outside of the camp. So when they came, Chazu Domo, they saw the blood. The Kanaf Kimi Bein Neture, they saw the blood that coming out of the mountains. Atu, they came, they came, they told the Jewish people. The Amu Shir, and the Jewish people heard that, and they sang a song. I know the Chsiv says there, the song, the Esher and Nechalim, and the edges of the rivers, Asher Natah, that he bent down, Lashevet, ונשען לגבול מואב, lay down in the boundaries of Moab. Now what does that mean? If the ark went by, so let's say there's two mountains here, they have the river in between. So the two mountains came together and went down. And the ark went on top of it. The Jewish people passed by, they didn't see anything. When the Jewish people finished to walk by, what happened? Boom! The mountain jumps back. But who were left there? The two leprosy guys. Right? Because they were not walking in the camp. So when they came by, it was normal two mountains with a river. What they see? That blood is leaking and coming down from the mountains. And limbs and arms, who knows, go on the river. So they ran to the Jews. Hello, Jews! Wait, oh, look, come back! And they called all the Jewish people back without the ark, and they saw the blood and the limbs and everybody of the Amorites. So the Jewish people at that moment saw it. They sang a song to Hashem. They sang a Shiur Hashem. They sang a song to Hashem. So they saw the miracle. Okay. We'll stop here. The Gemara goes one by one and ask some questions. We have to make a review.
That's a good idea.
What?